to help you understand what happens in somebody's life. There's a lot of things that you worry about. We didn't know at the moment they were lifting him out of me, I was having a C-section, that he was going to be born with a problem. Could we have? Yes. I didn't think we were going to have a problem. Actually, I don't think I wanted to know. I don't think I wanted to know if I would really carry a baby to term. When are you going to take responsibility? If you really believe that you're going to take care of whatever happens, and you're grown up enough to be engaged in that activity and take care of everything, then be grown up enough to get the testing to know what you're dealing with. Because we should have scheduled his surgeries on the day he was born. We were very fortunate. He was born on a Sunday morning. The doctors were in town. We probably should have interviewed them and gotten everything together and ready, because he needed to go into surgery right away. So we were either divinely taken care of or very lucky. I'll let you decide. I know how I feel, but you totally can decide what you think about that. I've told people what I've thought before about what I thought was going on with my life, and I have people argue with me about what happened with my life, so I'm not going to. You can decide. I have things on here that those of you who are close could maybe read, but like, yell out. What are these things, 5 things say? Start from the bottom up.
Faith, marriage, career, finances,
Family and friends.
Did you hear those? Okay, here's what it's like, a perfect storm. Okay, all those things are like, crap. How do those all fit around this? Can you read that? My identity. Who am I now? Yeah, I remember being in a bathroom stall, actually thinking, I'm a woman who's having a miscarriage. What does that mean? Fast forward to almost a year later. Now I'm a mom with the child who for sure is physically disabled, and they're saying that he might be intellectually disabled too. I couldn't deal with that. I so went into bargaining mode with God. I can only do one of those. That's what I said. And I'm like, well, obviously, since we can see the physical stuff, you just have to make anything else go away. Then, you know how people's lives are like a puzzle that they have to put together? Everybody else is looking at you to figure out how you feel. I come to realize that everybody's life has a perfect storm at some point. Maybe more. I'm just guessing, but I bet in this room there are people whose families are divorced. I'm guessing there are people whose mom and dad don't do a very good job acting like a mom and dad. And you may even have had an occasion where you're like, oh my God, I'm the kid of an alcoholic. Or you're like, my mom is addicted to fill in the blank. Or my dad is addicted, fill in the blank. Or my dad is abusive. Or my mom doesn't pay attention to us kids at all. And you have an identity moment where you're like, what does that mean for me? Or these. Cancer diagnosis, heart attack, really bad car accident. People's lives sometimes just have these storms come. Isn't this the most cute baby you've ever seen in your entire life? I made sure, that was when he was 3 days old. I made sure, he had 2 surgeries on the day he was born. He needed a shunt. He needed a shunt in his head for the hydrocephalus, or the water in the brain. I knew that was coming up on Friday. So when we got these pictures taken on Wednesday and I saw how adorable this photo was, I got multiple copies. I carried one with me always so that when somebody said, oh, you had your baby, what'd you have? A boy, see, he's adorable. And then I would tell them what happened. Because it kind of helped make the, oh, I'm so sorry's not as bad. We want Strauss to become the best Strauss that he can be. Well, what does that mean? Is that just a Strauss thing? No. Fascinatingly, if Strauss is going to become the best Strauss he can be, what does that mean about me? I'll let you, go ahead, give me an idea on this one. How do I get Strauss to be the best Strauss he can be? What do I have to do?
Be the best mom.
I have to be the best Joy I can be. And Mark has to be the best Mark he can be. I all of a sudden figured out that the world is interdependent. That we need each other. We need even the weak people. And then I had to take a good hard long look and realize what was making me afraid most was realizing that there were people out there that were like me when I was in high school. Now, if you ask high school people who knew me then, I wasn't snotty. I wasn't one of those mean girls. I wasn't so popular that I wouldn't talk to other people. But I did kind of have this expectation that if you weren't good at something, I felt sorry for you. I just did. So like I judged people a lot without even trying. I just did. And I had to be honest about that. What scared me the most was to know that there were going to be people judging my son and not seeing him for as the beautiful person that I did. The funny thing is, you don't know if you have faith until you have to use it. Right? And I'm not going to tell you what to believe or not. It's not for me to get between you and God. That is none of my business. I appreciate that when people look between me and God, because I know what God's telling me about what I'm doing with my son. And it's pretty eye-opening, the way I used to be probably, and the way I see the world now. Strauss was really good at Barney concentration, and when he was in middle school, they had this middle school assignment in 6th grade where you had to do the periodical table of element charts. Why? How many of you are going to be a doctor, you know? I looked at that and I'm like, crap. I'm not going to get to keep him in school with these other kids. And this is the year we had just learned that he did have an intellectual disability. We didn't miss that one. Like, how in the world are we going to do this? How in the world? I don't want him to be embarrassed, and I want him to keep going to class with the people that he considers friends. I don't want him pulled out into other areas if he doesn't have to. I made a concentration game, and we played periodical chemical concentration. And it took all of Easter weekend, but guess who got 30 out of 30? Strauss Newcom did. He kicked butt on that. He beat some of the smarty little kids in his class. If you were born a certain way, and I believe a lot of people arrive a lot of different ways in this world. If you're born a certain way, be who you are. And I hope you find people who let you be who you are. Otherwise, you're going to waste a lot of time trying to be something that you're not. That's not going to do it.